Welcome to the Unexpected Podcast, where your hosts, Lee and Amy, carry on simple conversations about everything from life experiences, the current culture, God, and everything in between. And because Lee has put Amy through years of surprises, this is her time to surprise him with unexpected topics he won't be privy to until the microphone is on and the camera is rolling. This is the Unexpected Podcast. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back. Lee, you look very comfortable. I like it. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh. No vocals? Just instrumental?
Ooh. No. All right.
Nice.
I'm done.
I love it. So, was that inspired because of your Hawaiian shirt?
Well, you know, I thought, why not?
I like it. I've
I'm
always
feeling
liked that
pretty
shirt.
good. It's a great day to be alive.
Yeah.
Sun's still shining when I close my eyes. Hard times in the neighborhood, but why can't every day be just this good?
Is that a song?
No.
No.
Yes.
It is. Well, it's really cool and interesting that you have such a comfortable looking shirt on, like you're ready to
very relaxed.
lounge on the beach.
Yes.
Which sounds really nice right now.
Hello, everybody. Once again.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's great. Well, it's time to get into a topic. As you guys know, if you've watched before, this will be a topic that Lee is not privy to. He knows nothing about, but it is interesting that you're wearing that shirt, looking all cozy and comfy, because I want to talk about the benefits of discomfort.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's not very...
Ouch. That's uncomfortable.
That's a not very comfortable way of talking.
All right. Well, here's the thing. We live in a time of every possible convenience, right? I mean,
Yes.
we could go and adjust the thermostat.
With our phones.
That's true. That's true. We don't even have to get up off the couch if we don't want to.
No.
Yeah, and this is sad. The other day I was thinking, you know, sometimes on the thermostat, like 72 feels a little warm and 71 feels a little cold. And I was thinking they should make like half degrees, like 71.5 would probably be
They do.
Perfect. Oh, do they? See,
They
I
have
don't even
thermostats
know.
that will do
I didn't
that.
know that. Okay.
Yep.
Maybe you guys knew that already, or maybe you have one of
Shouldn't have
those.
said that. Now I'm probably going to have to put one in.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
We'll survive. But yeah, you know, we live in this time where we have every possible convenience, and you pointed out the phone.
Yeah.
You know, we never have to be bored if we don't want to.
Yeah.
There's every possible, you know, we have a million screens. You know, in your own home, you probably have several television screens, devices, phones. And so it's interesting because I was listening to this interview one time where they were talking about like brain science tells us that the brain is designed to solve problems. So if you think about in the past, people were having to solve problems every day. Like, how am I going to feed my family? We've got to go hunt for food, or we have to plant, or, oh, we have a big storm coming through now. How are we going to take care of our livestock? And so people were constantly having to solve problems. And it's not that we don't have to solve problems of different kinds now, but there is so much comfort in our lives that what is it doing even to our brains?
See a need, fill a need. Mr. Bigwell. That makes me think of robots, man.
Oh, do you guys remember that movie?
I love that movie.
It was, to me, it was a really weird movie, but there was something kind of appealing about it.
Anything sci-fi is weird to you. I love sci-fi.
Yeah.
Sci-fi
You guys know
is
that
so
movie?
much fun.
That old robots animated movie with Robin Williams and
Help.
And if you guys are out there and if you have children, then you probably have certain ones that you've watched over and over. So therefore, you have them memorized, or at least to a degree.
Yes.
I remember from that movie. I loved when at the end when he couldn't play. The father wanted to be a musician, but he was really bad.
Yeah.
And so he was playing something, and they're like, "What is that?" And he's like, "It's
It's a mix between jazz and funk.
It's
We call
called
it junk.
right?"
I love it.
That was fun. Okay. All right, but Big Well, feel a need, see a need, feel a need. Okay. All right, I see that.
Thank you, Miss Fanny.
Okay, yeah.
So okay,
We're
sorry.
not going to go
Tangent.
there. Or we can. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But,
So
here's the thing.
yeah.
So are there benefits then to discomfort? Now, you and I have had to go through discomforts in life that we
Yeah.
didn't choose. Okay.
Right.
So like things have been forced upon us, or things that we've had to do. We've had to do things that are necessary. For
Yeah.
example, some of you may or may not know my story, but I came out of a number of years of addiction. So I had to go through the discomfort of getting sober. I've been through the discomfort of quitting smoking. That's a challenging one. You went through brain surgeries and then had to go through the discomfort of getting off of
Pain meds.
yeah. which was horrible, but by God's grace, you were able to get through that. So there are those discomforts that are forced upon us, but are there benefits to doing things that are uncomfortable? In other words, could we benefit if we're willing to step away for a time from some of the everyday comforts that we enjoy?
I believe that is a subject that can go extremely deep because life is hard.
That's true.
Period.
Yeah, that's true.
No matter what stage of life you're in, it's hard. But eventually, the hard part of life becomes easier, not because life gets easier, but because your adaptation to life gets more refined. And that refining through life allows you to make the decisions that are admirable, that are constructive, that are beneficial to your life and those around you. So whenever I had brain surgery, and I know those of you that know me know that I joke about it all the time. It was a hard time for us, me being laid up for 6 months straight, not being able to see, and having put all the burden on you to take care of kids, the household, and me laying up with a 2-inch hole that's been drilled into my head, and pulling out something the size of a lemon. Or
that was uncomfortable.
That was a little uncomfortable. So lying there, almost dying, playing with death. Yeah, I've done it. I can take it or leave it. I'd rather leave it. I don't want to ever do that again. But I will say that it taught me patience. I will say that whatever thing that you're going through, take the good from it. Because there ain't nothing you can do about it. You're going through it. That's the thing. You go through. You don't stay in it, but you go through it. And I think what you're talking about is these hard moments, these hard things of life that we so hate. Hate. I mean, that's and it is a strong hate to do. We don't want to do it. When going through life with an ailment that keeps coming back, like the old guys, you say, it's going to rain, my knees are hurting. Well, it's going to rain, my head's are hurting. That's what happens to me because I got 3 plates and 7 screws in my head. So, and yes, I do have a screw loose. That's a joke, but seriously, physically I do. We won't go there. But this thing of ailments are a reminder sometimes of God's mercy. A lot of people don't want to talk about that anymore. They don't want to say, well, God won't make me go through that. If God loved me, he wouldn't make me do that. If God loved me, he wouldn't push me through that.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? maybe he'll allow you to go through it. And I hated that message. I hate that message. I don't like that message.
Yeah.
But it is a refining of who we are. Any drug addict that's come free of drugs, and I was one, I was addicted to painkillers for the longest of time because I didn't know I was addicted to painkillers. I had no idea. I was in a cycle. And so, coming off of that was hell.
Yeah.
I sat in a corner.
Yeah.
I quit cold turkey. The doctor said I shouldn't have done that. Said I was supposed to taper off of it. But I didn't want a substance to control me.
At that point, you had made up your mind.
I made up my mind. I found out that those pills gave me a headache.
Right.
And I had brain surgery, so I thought it was the surgery giving me the headache. So I'd take more pills, and then the pills would give me a headache, and then I'd take more pills, and the pills would give me, and it was a cycle.
Right.
We went through that. But I think the reason we go through those things as leaders, people, those of you that are called to be a leader, those of you that are called into a society to help it or to help the hurting and the people going down a bad path or just people hurting, period. It's hard for you to understand what somebody's going through if you haven't went through it. I'm not telling everybody to go out and start going through stuff, but if you have gone through something and somebody else has gone through it or is going through it and you made it out on the other side, you kind of have an obligation to step in a little bit if they allow you.
Right.
Some people aren't ready for help.
Yeah.
Some people are ready for help and they're just waiting for somebody to say, you know what, I got you. We can, let's help you. Now, are we called to help every single person that we come across? No.
No, that makes me think of when, I think it's in 1st or 2nd Samuel, when, David said, Lord, should we go up and fight this battle? And it's like David understood as the king of Israel that he wasn't called to every battle.
Right.
And I think there's a spiritual principle there for us too. We're not called to every battle, but we should be ready for the ones that God would have us tend to. And also, going back to what you said, when you go through things that are difficult, it also makes you merciful to others.
Because my empathy level did go up. I don't have a whole lot, but what I do have, I earned it. I earned my empathy. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I didn't have much mercy towards people. I was like, why are they doing that? Don't they know that'll take them to hell?
Or why can't they get over that?
Why can't they get over that? Get over it. You sick? You get up. You'll be fine. It's just not. Thank you, Lord. I used to get on to old people. I still remember that. And the pastor's wife sat me down. I was a young
and
zealous
zealous Christian.
I was.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But my empathy is earned. I've had to go through some things, and learn it early.
I was going to say, now maybe in other areas you'll want to choose empathy so that maybe you don't have to go through something in order to grow
that is one path
to grow in it. Yeah.
Things are hard in life. And to go back to your, where we're at, and just bring it back around for me.
Okay. Well, the thought I had was, let me ask a question.
Oh, excuse me.
Have you gone through, we're going through it. No, have you gone through something that was like really challenging, and then in the next season of life, you have to go through something that you used to think was really challenging, but because you did something even more difficult, then those things that used to seem difficult don't seem as difficult anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you had experiences like that, do you think?
Moved to Nashville. I was going to be a big country singer. So I moved to Nashville. I started, doing what I could. Playing the game.
Right.
And moved back home. Felt like a failure. I was living above a garage in a person's house, and I just didn't make it. I was going to college for electrical engineering, and I was going and to all these places. And I passed people like, Lori Morgan and all these people and a bunch of other name dropping people that I could have said. But that I was excited. I got to see those people. I was headed down that road.
Mm-hmm.
Met a certain person and they talked me out of it. And that was fine.
Yeah.
But I didn't quit. I kept going.
Right.
But I ended up moving back home.
Mm-hmm.
And when I moved back home, that was the best thing for me. Because then I started going to this little church and I met you.
Oh, I'm glad you moved back.
Yeah. So, doing that made a difference.
Mm-hmm.
That changed me.
Right.
So
you went and kind of like into a situation where you metaphorically got your nose busted.
Mm-hmm.
And then you came back stronger, more resilient.
More resilient. I moved out. And so when we got married, I was moving from my grandparents' home because I felt like a failure.
Mm-hmm.
And I started working on TVs. Back when TVs, you could actually work on, you take the back off of them and they had the tube and everything. I was working on those guys. It was fun. Dangerous, but fun. And I was working there when you and I decided to get married.
Right.
And I moved out when we got married and moved in with you.
Yeah.
In your apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what I was doing. I was scared to death. I was thinking, I'm going to mess this up.
Mm-hmm.
I've already failed once. How am I going to make this work?
Mm-hmm.
But now we did pretty good.
Yeah. We're still here. Almost 25 years
25 years
later.
this year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Woo-hoo.
Silvers.
Oh, yeah. Silver anniversary.
Silver and gold. Sorry. Go for it.
So maybe do you think that there are things that we should be intentional about as far as stepping out of our comfort zone in order to make our lives better or make ourselves sharper in the things that we're designed to do?
I'm going to be very blunt.
Okay.
Shut up.
Are you talking to me?
I am not talking to you, but I am saying I'm very intentional about shutting up.
Oh, okay. So like if a person is a prolific speaker, they're always got their mouth going, it would be to their benefit to learn to
shut up
and listen more.
That's very harsh sounding, but it's the truth. Sometimes be slow to speak and quick to
listen.
You got two ears, you got one mouth. It's always the quiet ones that are in the room that you have to worry about because they're the ones absorbing all of the information that's around them. Yeah. If you're talking, you can't absorb information. So it's best sometimes to be quiet and know and have the knowledge and learn the wisdom to apply such knowledge to your life. So that right there, so you were asking, reiterate for me.
Well, I was asking, do you think that there are things that we can intentionally do to step out of our comfort zone that will benefit us in some way?
Yes. So that's why I said, shut up. That's why I say be quiet. I would say intentionally be quiet. If you are a talker, be quiet. If you are an adamant listener, somebody that doesn't speak their mind at all, speak your mind every once in a while. It's good for you.
Good.
You need to let it out because if you bottle everything up all the time, you're going to blow up all at once. And that's what makes mass murderers.
Okay. We don't want that.
No, if you look at society, it's not the social butterflies that are doing like the killings.
Right. It's the recluse.
It's the recluse. Yeah. It is the one who feels rejected. It is the one who is feeling less of a person. They don't feel as though they fit in. They don't feel a part of society. So those are the people that are rejected by society. They've been abused. They've been hurt.
Yeah.
So if you are one of those people that's been abused, been hurt, find somebody to talk to, even if it's God.
Right.
If you don't know God, talk to him anyway.
And even if it's uncomfortable.
Even if it's uncomfortable,
always
there's that uncomfortable
benefit
part.
there.
And there's a benefit because when you speak to God,
Mm-hmm.
he is quick and faithful to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you speak, you're saying, I think you're there. I hope you're there.
Yeah.
I know something's there.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're a non-believer, even if you don't believe in Jesus, speak up
Mm-hmm.
and ask God,
Mm-hmm.
is this thing real?
Yeah.
If it's not real, then God tell me. And that's the prayer that I've always had. Lord, and I have faith 100% knowing
Mm-hmm.
that Jesus Christ is sitting at the right hand of the Father and lives and
Mm-hmm.
still lives today because I am living proof of that.
Right.
My life,
Right.
I'm totally sold out.
Yeah.
There is no changing my mind about this. But if you're one that takes convincing, you don't want to know anything about Jesus, you're tired of all the Christians always saying this or that, and you're an atheist, agnostic, or anybody outside of that, believe in other types of gods or anything like that, there is one way to find out. Ask him.
Mm. Yeah.
God, if you're real, show yourself to me, or give me a sign, or show me something. And I know the Bible says it's a wicked generation that's asked for a sign, but see, it was the believers, the religious ones that were asking for a sign. It wasn't the non-believers. It wasn't those people who were trying to find the truth.
Right.
It was the people that were religious and full of themselves.
Right.
You look up and you say, God, are you real? If you're real, give me a sign, show me something, let me know that your love is real. And I promise you, at some point, you're going to feel the love of God if you're sincere about it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the key. If you're doing it as a joke, look, they joked about Christians. They put Christians down. Christian used to be a derogatory term.
Right.
So he went through.
Yeah.
The Christians went through something.
Mm-hmm.
And then Constantine comes and creates organized religion, and then we move on into all the denominations and all that stuff. And despite what your theological, homiletical, hermeneutical, philosophical thought process is, despite all of that, there still has to be one truth.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
It all falls onto one thing.
Right.
So the hard part is pushing through whatever is holding you back.
Mm-hmm.
What is the barrier?
That's good. That's good. And along those lines, I wanted to bring up one more thing, and then we've got to wrap up. But along those lines of stepping out of your comfort zone, I want to issue a challenge to take this or whatever it is that distracts you and just take some time to just go outside, sit in nature, just get quiet, or whatever it is that normally distracts you. There's something powerful about being willing to step away from those distractions.
Let me say this, and then we can close, if you want to. I mean, we can go for another hour if you want to. No,
close.
you're good?
Yeah.
All right. When I was teaching audio production at a university here in Cleveland, Tennessee, I would have my students go and sit in a room with just a notepad, an empty room, no phone, nothing. And I would say, write down everything you hear.
I didn't know you did that. That's good.
And it is a practice so that you can listen to the ambience of the world. Understanding your surroundings would make them a better filmmaker, or make them a better audio recordist, a field recordist. So understanding why we have room tone is to give an ambience to whatever movie it is, and it gives a feeling. So a lot of times we're so caught up in this, which, I mean, right now we're hoping you're staying on this and watching
Or
this.
whatever you're using.
Or whatever you're using. But I will say that this right here is a distraction that needs to go away. Now, when you go and sit in a room, I'm gonna issue a challenge. Y'all tell me in the comments what you think. Try it. Put this away. Get a notebook and a piece of paper, or a pen, notebook and a pen, and I want you to go into a room, and I want you to close off everything from everybody, and I want you to listen. Or go outside, sit in the sun, and just listen and write down what you hear. Take your time. Go in the woods. Write down what you... Now, don't go out where the bears are coming out and then get eaten by a bear and then say, the Unexpected Podcast told me to go out and sit and I got ate by a bear. Don't do that. That wouldn't be good for what we're trying to do here. So use some sense and do that. I would say that's a good practice to start with.
Yeah, that's good. Good
it
stuff.
Might get clear-minded.
I'm going to be doing more of that myself.
Yep.
So,
well,
all right. This has been great. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we will see you next time. Let's hear it.
Goodbye, goodbye. We'll see you later.
Don't forget to like this video and please subscribe to our channel. Drop your comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you prefer audio podcasts, please follow us on your favorite streaming platform.